Hey everybody, welcome back. And for the new folks out there, welcome aboard. Today's the official launch of the Intrepid Exotics Patreon, our memberships on the YouTube channel, and our merch store. Here's a couple reasons why we're doing that. I want to spend some time today for the new folks kind of talking about what the channel philosophy is, what my philosophy is, what brought me to start this, and what our plans are moving forward. So today is all about moving forward on Intrepid Exotics. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. So for those of you that may not be familiar with what we do, mainly what we talk about is keeping large snakes, monitor lizards, exotic pets in general, but we tend to focus on reptiles. And for those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know that I'm not much of a showman. Now, I'm not much of an entertainer. My background is from the military and being a fighter. So where that ends up playing into what we're doing here is I've got a lot of experience in teaching people really technical things, really conceptual things, and I decided a long time ago that there's no happiness in fighting. So I have absolutely no desire to do any of that. I moved out here to North Carolina. I wanted to plant roots, stay here, relax, live out my days in peace, and that's what I'm doing. Now, in the course of that, over the last few years, really developed a love for reptiles. It's been such an awesome ride ever since we started the channel. And I've been working with these animals for a few years now, and started Intrepid Exotics October of 2021. And I told myself that I was going to give it a year, give it 100 videos, and then kind of sit back and evaluate everything, see where it's going, see what we can do to improve and so forth. So that's the stage that we're at now. In the last couple months, I've been doing a little bit of forward projection, and I've got a game plan moving forward. I've got a really good concept that I think is going to be really beneficial in a lot of ways. So that's kind of what we're going to go over today. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with USARK, it's the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, and they are pretty much the watchdogs at the state legislatures, Congress, and so forth in regards to laws regarding exotic pets, reptiles. They've done a lot of awesome things for us. They're the ones that leaf through all the legislation, and they find all of those little riders in there that could put a lot of reptile breeders out of business or ban ownership of some of these animals entirely. And I've always been a huge supporter of them. I always will be. I've been a member as long as I can remember. If you're not, I really encourage you to do the same thing. They do a lot of good for us. But one thing that I want to kind of impress on people is that USARK can't do everything. I kind of look at them as the police of the reptile community. So if something bad starts happening, we call USARK, they go down, they cover our backs on it. They go down, they start spreading the information. This is what they're trying to do. This is what we need to counter it, and so forth. But that's only half, if half, the story. A lot of the responsibility, and I would say most of the responsibility, really falls on the reptile community. It takes so much more than just getting a membership and, you know, sending letters out. Although that stuff is so important to do, it behooves the rest of the reptile community to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And that half of it is the part that I really want to start tackling. USARK's got the legislation covered. They ace it. They're awesome with it. And again, get a membership with them and keep up with them if you're not already. But that being said, the best way to win a fight is to avoid it. And that falls on our shoulders as keepers to make sure that we're educating folks that we sell these animals to, that we're presenting ourselves and our animals in the best light possible to the general public, and that we're educating people. You know, really putting forth a genuine effort to make sure that if somebody's planning on taking one of these animals in, they've got everything that they need, they're prepared, they're going to have a good experience. Same thing with you know, what we present to the public as far as our animals and feedings and all of that other stuff, because it can be a little rough on some people. You know, we need to make sure that we're presenting ourselves in a positive light, and as such our animals as well. So one of the goals that I've got, and over the course of the last couple months, it's become really apparent to me that this channel is doing some good. It's been really humbling. It's been really positive. I've gotten some awesome feedback from people. Some folks that are saying, you know, I couldn't handle my snake until you spent that time on the video conference with me, showing me what to do and telling me what to look for and all this other stuff. Or people that say, you know, I've watched your videos and my relationship with my animals has gotten so much better, so much safer, and so much more positive. So it's really encouraged me to keep going and step up the game some. So over the course of the next year or two, and this is all going to depend on how the funding falls, because as it stands now, I work a day job, and all of the animals, everything that I use for the channel, you know, I fund all of that stuff just out of my regular paycheck, and I haven't really had any other income coming in because I don't breed, I don't sell animals, things like that. So I don't have that revenue to back me up moving forward. So I guess if I really had to summarize what I'm working towards here, it's pretty much creating a community hub in our area. You know, I want to have a place where the public can come in. I also want to have enough space available to where local breeders can come in and have their own dedicated space where they can keep their animals there if they want to, use that space to get public exposure. You know, have 2 or 3 breeders out there, you know, more. You know, it depends. It all depends on how big the space is. And, you know, I just wanted a hub to where the whole community has a place to come together anytime they want to. They can bring anybody down there, and it's just a big open public education space for folks. And it's going to give us enough space as well to take on animals. If somebody has a 12, 14, 18 foot reticulated python or something that it's either been mistreated or they just can't handle it anymore, you know, I want them to be able to bring it down so we can work with it and, you know, see if we can get them back on track, you know, help them with their socialization, make it more manageable, and, you know, avoid people getting into bad positions with their animals and stuff. And like I said, it's all just built. I'd really like to see the whole community come together under something like that. And so that's going to be our goal here over the course of the next couple years. And like I said, the more support we get, the faster it's going to happen. Doesn't matter if I've got to do it all on my own. We'll sort it out, we'll figure it out, we'll make it happen. But I'm telling you, just like I said before, if somebody is to come and throw $1 million down on the table and say, I believe in what you're doing, go do it, it's done. And it'll all go towards getting everything up and running, getting the exposure out there, and just being another huge good resource for the reptile community that I really think we need. And then expand it out to other things as well. So we're going to liaison between law enforcement, education facilities, keepers, breeders, new keepers, helping people come into the community. So there's a lot of stuff that we want to do. So down in the description of this video, guys, I'm going to have a link to the Patreon. There's all kinds of levels up there, from $10 to $500. If you're a corporate supporter and you stand behind the ideas of what we're doing, or if you want to talk to me more about it and get more detailed information about what the actual plan is, by all means, get in touch with me. I'll talk with anybody about it. But there's any level of support in there that you're comfortable with. And, you know, same thing goes for the channel memberships on YouTube, the merch store. We've got some logo stuff in there. By all means, jump on, order some of that stuff. And I'm going to be using, you know, member input to tweak and improve all of these things as we go, to kind of streamline things, to make it all more user-friendly. So of course, feedback's always a good thing. So all of that stuff is going to be down in the description, guys, and we're going to be continuing on here pretty soon with our next species spotlight, which is going to be, I want to do it on Niles, but some of you may know Niles got injured a while back, and he's kind of in the final stages right now of recovering. He's healing up. He's healing up well. He slipped out of my hands, got up under an enclosure, and ended up taking a cut on his back. So I've really had to watch him and stay on to breeding and treating that. But he's doing well. And, you know, I think in a lot of ways, too, that may have been a motivating factor. Saying, you know what, I need more space. I need a better facility for these animals, and we're going to make it happen. And if I'm going to do it, we may as well do it right. Because I want to see these animals have the best life that they can. I want to see your animals have the best life that they can. And I want to see the wild animals here and abroad, you know, all have the best lives that they can through educating the public about what these animals are actually like, what they actually do, and how beneficial they are, and how we're always at risk of losing them, because human beings aren't known for being as respectful as we like to think we are about our environments. We do a lot more damage than we do help most of the time, almost in every case. So you guys will notice too on the memberships and the Patreon, there's the perks that we list on there. Right now, we've got some people calling, asking for things, you know, video conferences, phone calls and stuff like that. We've got time to do it. So that stuff's not going to be tied to those memberships. Yeah, I'm going to do that stuff if I can do it regardless. But I've got to put it in there in order to have the tiers and so forth, so it's there. You know, maybe at some point when enough people start asking and we've really got to start budgeting our time, we can start going through the memberships and then kind of triaging who we can pay attention to first by who's on the memberships. It's not the case right now. So I've just got that stuff in there because it's got to be. Feel free to reach out to me if you need anything. And of course the merch shelf is up there. And with the Patreon, after 3 months of membership, there's a piece of merch that's automatically generated. There's like stickers, coffee cups, t-shirts, sweatshirts, bags, stuff like that. So all that stuff's going to be in there too. So like I said, guys, if you want to jump on board, we've got a lot of things in the works. I've got a lot of things that I'm planning right now, and we can always use all the support we can get. So until next time, you guys have an outstanding week, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.